Welcome to the stream. I had the wrong link, I think, but so let me share it again. This is the proper link. Okay, let's see. Welcome to the chat. Trade via BC and Mel. I believe we just had a speech of Trump. At least I saw some messages from that. Welcome, Kijol's dad as well. Good to see you. The gold is still running, but it's chopping around a bit here. So hopefully it can flip above here. Then I think it's a pretty quick move higher, because we have only some buy side liquidity above us. So hopefully we can squeeze that out and go to the target for a 6R, which would be a really nice gain. Welcome Horace and West de Vries as well. Good to see the same people again in the chat. Let's give it 1 more minute and then we're gonna just start. Let me clean the chart a bit. So we tapped into this range demand, so then it's technically mitigated. So then you can adjust your range. This was tapped right here, which is the top of the range demand. So basically from here, if you look at this sideways and then break, then the top of that start, that is the top point of your range demand. This is now mitigated. So then I often either move my box to that mitigation, or I just delete the mitigation and know that it's a mitigation, which I'm gonna do right now. So then also red dot, so I know it's mitigation of some important demand or supply. All right. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. Volume is low. Is for everyone else the volume also low? It should be the same as normal. Thanks for pointing out the gold rate. I mean that one a bit higher than yours though. Yeah, it was a nice one. I hope it continues. I will discuss it like yesterday during the stream. I mentioned that 3 drive, 1, 2, 3, and that's always just a form of, like lately, the 3 drives have been insane, but it basically shows that there's absorption. So this is where sellers absorbing price, and if it's to the downside, it's like buyers absorbing price. So a 3 drive like this shows that there's a counterparty trying to hold price down. Volume is good. What do you mean trading? No, I think I'm talking about the sound volume. But if that's good, then I think should be good. Trading volume is also pretty low. We can have a look. Yeah, it's pretty low. Let me quickly put an alert on BTC, but let's first go over gold. So gold, basically yesterday, like with using the 1 minute is a bit risky, of course, but you have 1, 2, 3, and then break back to bearish right here. So here's your bearish bulls. And let's see. Yeah, you can watch, like if you use 1 minute structure, that's often like riskier than waiting for a higher time frame break. But then you can watch where is your volume profile. So then you can look, is this break back in your value area high? Then we need to not extend it. Then you can see that value area high is a little bit below it. So basically, until you break below that, it's a riskier entry. But the moment you fall in your value area high, which is the moment here, then it was a valid trade. So then I would personally gotten in after the break, for example here. Then stop is your third tap as always, and target is the range low. So that would have been a nice 3R trade. I didn't watch the trade, so I didn't took it. But it would have been a valid trade. And then from there, price basically, what often happens is that you have a distribution, and then tap one, and that the distribution can flow over into an accumulation, which is what we had here with tap one. So basically, first your range is this right here, where you have tap one. Then this is your tap two, which is below the range, but within your deviation threshold. So if you have your range and then any moves below, back in your range that are within your deviation threshold can be seen as valid taps. So then this is tap two, broke back to bullish right here. So low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, back to bullish, and here locally also back to bullish. So then you basically already have a confirmation that you can rotate back to the upper part of your range. And this is like just textbook. This makes me as a trader happy. Where you have the break back to bullish. So basically local structure is low, lower high, lower low with a sweep. So a sweep, we know if you sweep a market structure low, then it's an SFP, which means that the high that brought you into that level is a targeted high. So in this case, price fails to break below this low, which means that the high that brought you into that low is a targeted level, which is also your break structure level. So here you have a break back to bullish. This is your bullish break. Then you can see you have sell to buy. So sellers step in, buyers take over, breaking structure back to bullish, which means that this whole zone is demand. Now you can watch, okay, we have a break back to bullish. We leave demand behind. This is our second tap. Structure broke back to bullish. Then we can look for a model 2 accumulation. Then how does price move down? Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then break back to bullish. From left to right, this is your bullish break, bullish boss. And then you can also see this like a local, I don't know why my things have changed, but like 1, 2, 3, like a local 3 drive into that demand level with that break. And since you break back to bullish right here, this is new range demand because you have sell to buy, breaking from left to right back to bullish. And then price comes back for this exact demand mitigation of this local demand that caused that move. Okay, watch it here. Like this is the demand that caused the break. And this is where it mitigates the zone. So this is basically your range demand, range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. Perfect example of the RIMC. Range, break, mitigate, continue. So this was the technical re-entry, where basically after this mitigation you can enter, stop below that low, technically this low, but this took all liquidity, so then it's basically the same. And the target of this 1, 2, model 2 is technically the range high. Like technically the highest high for a almost 5R. But I missed that entry. So then you can always look like what does price leave behind. and then price left behind a. So I always or often move my tab. If the second tab is confirmed, then I move my range to the new tabs, basically. So now we have tab 2. Then if you zoom out, you have selling candle, selling candle, selling candle, break, leaving behind a 45-minute demand zone. So then you can look for that demand for potential higher low for a higher high. So I missed my entry right here. And that's when I started looking like, okay, I think this has the potential to move back up. So where do I want to get involved if we get a retrace? And then we had that 45-minute demand, which I just showed. And on the 3-minute, the top of that 45-minute demand, you have this sell candle and then aggressive buy, creating demand again. So then you have 45-minute demand with 3-minute demand overlapping that level. So it's like super clean level. So I was recording the video this afternoon, and then price was moving down, and I said, okay, price is coming down this fashion, low, lower high, lower low, and then I wanted to see price move into that demand zone and then break structure back to bullish for an entry. So price tapped into that 3-minute OBIM like perfectly. So that moment I knew, okay, this is like an interesting level to watch at it. And I'm gonna be honest, I was on the 32nd, where I saw like low, lower high, lower low. And that's basically from here, there's not really any structure. But what I saw was like this rounding effect shows that there is some buying. Because rounded tops are local accumulations and rounded tops are local distributions. If you start zooming in on like the 50 seconds, 15, you will see that this is actually probably a model 1 or model 2. So, but this is showed me, okay, there is buying activity right here. So then I like to front run the levels sometimes. So, and here, if you look very locally, it broke, but there I know, okay, let me enter, stop below that 3-minute demand. Because basically if this model wants to complete the 1, 2, 3 model 2, then this retest had to be the higher low for the higher high if we're gonna get it. Like if you don't bounce from this level, there's no reason to not bounce from here. So that was like, okay, let me just use a bit wider stop and then ride it higher. So often I just want market structure to use a tighter stop. But right now price moved up, came into the supply that was created in the afternoon, and I'm now risk-free, took little profits right here. So it's a win either way, but yeah, like biggest size is still in. So I hope this continues higher, but yeah, it's chopping around near the mid-range. So can't have too clear of a bias here. Because often when you are in a position, you start to come up with all reasons why it should be bullish just because you are long. And if you are short, you come up with all kind of reasons why it's bearish because you are short. But you should always try to remain objective. But I think 1, 2, 3, this is basically the 4, that there is a good chance for this to move to the range high. However, we are also chopping around here, so maybe they wanted to take me out, go a little lower, and then go for a new 1, 2, maybe even go for a model 1. Could also happen. But for now, I'm just willing to yeah, let this run, hopefully for a 6-hour trade. Please do your USD and SUI. Yeah, I will go over them later, but I'm a bit like people in the Discord know. I like my pairs that I have because I know them very well, and I don't know Euro, USD, and SUI, so I can analyze their charts. It's all more or less the same, but I like to have build a relationship with my coins. So that was the gold trade. Pretty clean. Gold has been treating us very, very nicely, and slowly but surely becoming one of my most loved pairs. So hopefully this continues, and then it's a nice run. Then BTC. Yeah, we basically had that Trump push. Then we started this range where we have been in for a very long time. And I mentioned that my main POIs, let's clean up the chart a bit. Let's put it there. My main POIs for trades were deviating this high to look for shorts right here, to look for shorts right there, shorts right here, and longs if we took out the local range low into the single prints. So I did not get my short, basically because I was not interested to trade within this choppy zone. But we did take out the single prints and we mitigated this range demand. We have some more refined demand lower. And did we close below the deviation threshold? Not really. If we look at the deviation threshold, then this is our high, this is our low, and the deviation threshold is right here. So price wicked it. So this could still be seen as potentially the tap 2 of a either model 2. If we break back, then give a deep break back, and if you then get structure in the move down, this could still potentially turn into a 1, 2, 3 for model 2. But we already have like pretty deep move, so it could also be that you push back, fail to reclaim your value area low, and then if you give a really good return to zone, it could turn into a model 1 as well, with a refined entry, and then get like that rounded effect. That's how I would be interested in a long, and that's also right now the only trade I see. Like, I'm very picky on my trades, and I just wait for them to be clean. So like here, this is like Wyckoff model 1, Wyckoff model 2, confirmed model 2. So then this demand is where I like to be aggressive. And for BTC, I don't see a super clean model right now. So then I'm just waiting, and then I know that eventually maybe price comes up and then gives that very slow return. And then I think, this looks obvious, that's what I want to trade. Instead of right now jumping in because I'm afraid to miss a move. I really don't care about missing any moves anymore. If I can catch one trade or two trades a day or one in a few days, all we eventually need. Sui looks nice, to be honest. If oil distributes here, crypto, gold, mess, etc. will go higher. I will check it in a minute. But I think, yeah, like BTC is the most important one. It will lead everything else. But if bulls want to step in, they should do it here. Because here we basically also have like low, lower, high. And here also local structure. Low, lower, high, low, low, break back to bullish. So this is your range demand. Then this is the initiation. This could be the mitigation, continuation. So if bulls want to step in, they should do it here. It can go a little lower as well. But overall, as I said in the video as well, there is no reason for price to go much lower than this. If they want to reverse it from here, then I think they should defend this zone or lowers, very likely. Let's look at the FIB. If we pull it from this low to that high, where are 7? Okay, so the 7.2 and 7.86 perfectly align with, what is it? 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah, like 15 minutes. Like these two sell to buy. So this is the most refined level there is on the chart, which aligns perfectly with the fib levels. So can watch for that. And here we have the former range with the value area low right here, which is also like 15-minute bearish market structure. So if we look at the bearish market structure from the high, you have low, lower high, lower low. So to break that back to bullish, we need to break above here. And that is also the value area low. So also have an alert ready here. It's the only way I want to go against this. Like for me, this is too straight down. So then I don't like to trade those things. I know that 9 out of 10 times price will stall, come back up, and then give something clean. So either wait for a acceptance back in the range and the market structure break, or for lower. So basically my alerts are right here and then lower, and then watch if we get a trade tomorrow or not, we will see. I talked about the single prints. Like if we zoom out on the TPO chart, there are normally you have a lot of magnets, so meaning levels that need to be cleaned. Right now we don't have anything, basically. We have single prints above us that the market likes to fill around just under 74k, and we had them below us, which were from that aggressive push, and price, like here you can see, almost as if the market does what it does best, filling the gaps into the chart to the T. Look at this. If you tell me that this market is not run by algorithms, then like this, look at this. To the exact dollar, they cleared the single prints. And what I said also in the video, you want price to fill it and then move away from it. So right now, if buyers want to defend price and they had a reason to clean this up before pushing higher, you now want them to push higher from here. So I would like to see buyers step in here, push it higher, and then look for a move down for that model 2, where you get 1, 2, 3, because there's not too much reason for price to get, yeah, we have some demand here, but it should not stay too long down here, or you have the risk that this just rolls over into new lows. And then if we go for that bullish plan, then my next target is 74k, the fair value gap right there. So that's going to be interesting to see. And what I also like always is to play where people are getting aggressive. So where delta volume, which is showing market orders and market sales, are aggressive, because that's where positioning, you could go against certain positioning. And here we see that with some buying and selling. So this is where action appeared in the market. So big buyers do something here, or people get trapped, and that's where you can take positions and see moves away from it. Like what we had here is just ranging price action. I don't like to be in a trade and watch my trade whole day do nothing. I want to get involved where action is, and that's what is right here, potentially. So here you see 29 million selling at the lows, and here some buying. So that could mean you can look at the chart itself, what is exactly happening. So it's selling. Here we have 30 million combined selling, and then on the ultimate low we have like 37, 30, it's like $70 million sold at the absolute low, and now price is moving away from it. So that means that there are trapped sellers, probably shorts and people that are just panic selling. And then you can watch on a very low time frame, because often you have a local model completing it. They could potentially see this as a 1, 2, 3. Here, sellers getting absorbed. Local break back to bullish. These people are now trapped, which could potentially cause throw higher. So that's pretty interesting. Let's see if we... This is how you could potentially scalp it, but I don't see any not too interesting level. And we are moving away from it. No, I don't see anything. But at least this is what you want to see, where people get trapped at lows or trapped at highs. Right now, some people are trapped at the lows. So that could be fuel for price to push higher. However, not worth playing it right now. It's cool doing, by the way. Okay, still alive. So yeah, for PTC, remaining patient, but I like how it's potentially evolving. Just need some more price action. Maybe push up, and then the Model 2 or the Model 1. And otherwise, if this, because we have quite some sell pressure, if this is just the lower high, and this fails to break structure back to bullish or do anything, this can also just lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then this was just a news-driven fake push, and then it goes much lower. Then it's truly, there's not much to hold up till 1 to these stacked lows. So pretty important week. And especially since like Trump is playing 4-day chess in real time, where he's talking out of his neck and giving Iran an ultimatum while few thousand US Marines are moving towards Iran, which arrive on Friday, which is also the Friday where the deadline is. And what happens on Friday? The markets close. What does Trump always do during the weekend? Manipulate the markets. So I think it's going to be a wild as fuck weekend, and especially getting closer into that weekend. So Friday, like the market does not know how to react anymore, because what is Trump's his word still worth? So it's going to be a wild week, and I think this can be one of those weeks where not losing is also winning. So therefore, just better to not take stupid losses. And then if you still make like one big win or a good win, for example, if gold wants to be so kind, like 6R, then I'm fine. 6R on the week, I will sign for that any day. Tao, I was looking for longs for this 1, 2, Model 2. This is what we drew in the stream yesterday, or during the video also today. And we got the Model 2, but I don't think it gave confirmation. This is the perfect example. If people, I know so many people are shorting this because it's a distribution, blah, blah, blah. And they kept shorting this as the Model 2, then they shorted it as the Model 1. And now they have been shorting this again as a Model 2 and as a Model 1. So then you have like 5 losses on a bullish asset that is just trending higher. That's not how you should treat the market. That's why market structure overrules ranges, otherwise you are literally fucking yourself. But I missed my long, so then the question always is, was there an entry confirmation? I marked out this top, tab 1, tab 2, take out the range high, tab 2. Then earlier today we had this deep move into a demand zone. Let's see, what was it? 13, 15, 10, or 5. Yeah, it's basically like then here was a gap. So this is like 10-minute demand. And maybe it was also a range high. We can watch. Now the value area high was even lower. So like this is bullish, super bullish. Price tapped into this demand and then pushed higher. So then I knew like this is your range high retest, so you don't want to go much lower than that. So that was I was thinking like if this is gonna play out, it's likely a model 2. Because structure-wise, it would not be logical to get this move and then go even lower for model 1. Like this is a level you want to see buyers step in. So that is what happened. But there was not a really clean model 2 POI. So you had 1, 2, mitigated demand. So then if we look on the 1 minute, what is the extreme demand? We have some demand here. Are we for real? Okay, so price did come into this extreme 1 minute demand. It gave structure into the move. Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, bullish break. So technically, man, I should not miss these moves. This is the bullish break. So technically, you can long it after the break. So let's say you would long it right there. Then technically you can use this as your invalidation because this is your third tap right now. And then your target is the range high, 5R. But in this case, because you have a 1 minute break, I will just, for peace of mind, use that spider stop. And then right now you would have been plus 2R, super nice. I need to get some, but that's why the community is there. If we scan like our main pairs and we know what are the PYs, then we won't miss these trades. Literally, with only these models, we can make a shit ton of money. Super clean model 2. And I also expect like it's like that price is gonna go higher because here you had a reaccumulation. Model 2. Low, lower low, higher low, higher low. So that shows you are in a high time frame uptrend. This can be just the higher low or the higher high. And if you then get in between a reaccumulation, and you know that 90% of the people are gonna short every move here because it's a distribution, they think. A lot of confluence for longs. But yeah, now price is pushing higher. So people are gonna continue shorting this, but I'm more interested in any longs on the backtest. I see on the 30-minute we have this demand. So I'm gonna just put an alert there. But if price comes back, I might even look for longs there. Because this is just now a new range breakout. Range, Rimsey, range, initiation, mitigation, continuation. This is the most likely outcome right now. So I'm gonna look for that on retraces for potential longs, but yeah, this is obviously getting the long here would have been much better. What is gold? BTC doing? Gold. Creating some local liquidity below, but also like a lot of liquidity above, especially locally. Like kind of compressing right here. These. Like this. So maybe if they want to play it dirty, they go for fake move, push higher. Or like push higher, push lower. So let's see. Let's see if there are some questions, by the way. Bannes, Trump loves Friday post. Yeah, he likes to manipulate the market. It's crazy. Welcome, Ricey baby as well. You said. I saw that model 2 accumulation, but was unsure because BTC was being slow. But yeah, beautiful shot. Yeah, like Tau is, it's giving no, it's moving so independently from BTC. It's like it's living its own life. That's also why I like it as addition to my chart. Just like hype also doesn't care. It also just does its own thing. So then you can trust the chart and just trade the chart instead of what, like 95% of the altcoins, they literally mirror BTC. So then you can, I don't understand why you are trading an altcoin when it's literally following every move of BTC. Then just trade BTC because but yeah, that's my reasoning. But Tau, yeah, it's like super strong. Look at this. And I remember, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it. But everyone was bearish on it. If everyone is bearish on it, you already know distribution, just fucking strong. ETH, we have that same range as BTC up with range high, range low. Now we have a sweep of the range low, potentially tap 2. And we have imbalance resting below it and range demand. So compared with BTC, this one is holding much stronger. And I'm pretty interested in potential longs. For here, for example, if we get a model 1 here, tapping into that range demand, then give a break, then I'm super interested in a long from here into that supply. Because market wants to fill this level, in my opinion. And if we look at like structure, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break back to bullish, mitigate, push higher. That's how I see it right now. And I know a lot of people see this as the bearish range high retest. But I don't know. What do we have as internal structure? High, low, lower high, lower low. So this is our internal structure to keep an eye on. An alert below, alert right there. This is the internal structure. Model 1 would be super nice to mitigate this demand with the more refined demand resting below. And yeah, but if this gives a model 2, I'm also interested in longing it. Model 2, model 1, fib. Optimal fib levels are a little bit lower, so keeping an eye on that. Can you make a tutorial video on vector candles? Yeah, I will make a video on that. But I have a lot of videos I need to make. First, I need to do ranges, which is the most important topic, which is the first on my to-do list. Then statistics also needs to be done, but I'm gonna wait a little bit longer with that because there's a big update coming. So I don't want to make all the videos right now and then have to do them over again when the platform has renewed. But I have a lot of content coming up. And there I will also include vector candles. Super interesting. Then with BTC, Tau, ETH, gold, Sol is basically a replica of, yeah, a bit like in between BTC and ETH. My main POIs are this demand below, so I have my alerts right there, and this supply above. What happens in between, I'm not really interested. I want to short potentially from here and long from here. What happens in between, I don't care. And for hype, I'm also basically waiting for either tap this high probability supply zone for shorts, or wipe out this sell side liquidity into this demand for longs. What happens in between, I'm not really interested. If we push up from here, we could also potentially look at it from new range, with this being the new range. Range high, range low. If we tap mid-range right here, this could be the range high. This the range low. And then look for longs after sweeping the low, or shorts after sweeping the high. Then I can quickly look at SUI right now. Make video on bad, good, lows, highs. Yes, sure. I'm planning to make a like a whole series of statistics, and then with how do I use it for the session statistics, bad lows, high, bad and good highs and lows, the warning signs, all kind of stuff. But that will all be visible in the premium Discord. So there are already, do I have it right here? Yeah, we already have market structure, supply and demand. Like when I do it, it's always I like to bring in a lot of liquidity is only one. Oh yeah, we have introduction, and then next up is ranges, then Wyckoff, then statistical confluence, and these three are gonna take a lot of time. But afterwards, I will include literally everything, also the TPO charts. So this is all also all gonna be explained. But for now, more important is to have like master market structure, the ranges, and Wyckoff. If everyone knows that, then we're gonna take every trade possible in this market. Just missing out on a lot of trades simply because I'm either not watching the chart or I'm missing my alerts because TradingView is fucking annoying. So if we all know what to look for, and especially like in a good way, we can milk this market like crazy. Let me quickly look at SUI. You guys are interested in SUI longs or shorts? Take longs. Don't tell me that I'm drawing my range wrongly, please. Okay, price came into daily demand. Right there we have 18-hour demand. Stepped right there. Here we have some supply. Great to hear, Kijos. Can sometimes be, yeah, I can yap quite long when I'm talking about it, but I think it's better to just explain it thoroughly than go quickly through it. Especially if it's a new concept, then it can be super confusing for people. For our demand below, yeah, this is like, if you look at it from a range perspective, price is near the mid-range. It's a low probability zone to do business within your value as well. So important to keep that in mind. like a high probability zone is this supply. Super interesting. But this is a do or die zone. If price SUI USDT like this is the 1 hour. So you have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, break, break, mitigation, continuation, potentially. But overall, yeah, I'm not super interested in it. Like you could say this is your range. Tap 1, potentially tap 2. Low, lower high, lower low. So this is your market structure. Flipped. Confluence is much lower in this demand. Yeah. It's creating some buy side liquidity, which makes it a plus. But like it looks super similar to ETH. So then why wouldn't I focus on ETH? Because I'm already missing out on a lot of local trades, just simply because of lack of time. So then the more pairs I'm gonna look at, it's just a waste of time. So I don't care what Sui does, to be honest. BT looking weak, ETH looking weak for now, interproven otherwise. I will check here USD, but also for Euro, I don't care. Seems like it's in 4-hour supply. Uptrend from low up. Demand below. Here is some supply. Those steps right there. Price came into that supply with kind of like a 1, 2, 3 model 2. Potential range. Yeah, like you are in supply, but you have this uptrend. You cannot forget. High, high, low, high, 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 low, high, high. Interproven otherwise. High, low, higher, high. Then form clean distribution right there, and you can look for shorts. Else, this could just run higher. Also with this kind of liquidity being built up. Like if this compresses, maybe taps this demand, breaks above. I would look for something like that. But again, all I need is more time, more attention towards only these pairs. And like the lower pairs are already duplicated, but like this, and basically this. Gold, BTC, ETH, Hype, Sol, Tau. I already have too little time to keep track of them all. And also for like gold, on the 1 minute, you can already, like there are trades everywhere. Probably do even better if I only look at, like this was earlier today. You had range, high, range, low. And then you had the 1, 2, 3, deviate, takes out the range low. This was intradable because of the lack of structure and it's super aggressive move down. Then price, it's not really giving a distribution, but you see that price comes back for this supply, retest, sells off into that level, then comes back for this extreme supply, sells off. So like only watching gold can already give like an insane amount of trades. And I know a lot of people are only focused on one certain setup, but yeah, I think that's not how it works. Are there any questions? I think overall my plans are pretty clean. There's the longs, but I need to see more. But we are at that key area where if this is intended to go higher, then it should happen soon from here. Maybe make one more low and then push higher or break in the range and then look for moves. Break below this demand and I will also look for shorts. Otherwise, this is the area I was interested in longs, so nothing changed to that plan. This is where I'm interested in shorts, and this is where I'm interested in shorts. Did not get my short levels, so then right now we are in the long zone, so that's where I look for longs. And then we go through everything, I guess, once again for an hour. So let me know if there are any questions, anything you are wondering. Otherwise, I'm gonna enjoy my evening. Gonna set my alerts just above and below. And if we squeeze, I think like if price goes above this high, it will take this high, and this high as well. And then I will watch above this high, maybe depending if how late I'm gonna sleep, but maybe I'm gonna take some more profits after we took this high. Because I don't, usual, I like to just open and close a trade the same day. And then just tomorrow, like if I close it there, then I have like a 3R in the pocket, and then tomorrow I just look for a new trade. Instead of sleeping and hoping during the night that I'm still in my position, have a poor sleep. And I've done that a lot, but it's not worth it. This is now, by the way, all mitigated. So that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. The range can also be cleaned up a bit. We'll now look at it from this perspective right here. This is the new range. So we are chopping around to the mid-range. There, some demand below. This is it right now. Range high, new range low. So it could also be that this chops around a long time. But now my main areas to watch are range high and range low for new accumulations. So this was like a low time frame, 1, 2, 3, but they can have the objective to, for example, just take out this liquidity and then go lower and then go for the main range again. So this is the main new range I'm looking. Nothing as bad as trade nightmares. Exactly. Okay, then I want to thank you all for tuning in again. And I'm excited for tomorrow. Like, we had this boring range. This could have been, there were potential trades, but in my opinion, this was just 50-50 if we would go here or would go here. But we are in my long POI. So maybe tomorrow, if we have some more price action, we can look for longs. And if no confirmation, then this can also just die, but that's also fine. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I'll speak to you guys in the Discord. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be streaming half an hour after New York again. And then hopefully we get some live trades. So thanks for tuning in and speak to you guys. Have a good evening.